Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Sheldon Barlett-Reamer, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. This Is It Network is your global digital TV network connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that each and every day through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. Each and every morning, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern, I share a little morning message, not only to keep you inspired for the day, but to keep you motivated each and every day. We want you to find your voice, to tell your story, to no longer whisper your wishes, but to in fact scream your dream. And the only way to do that is through our Scream Your Dream practice. So I want to make sure that you guys are feeling good. Today, I want to focus on your story. I want to focus on what you tell yourself about yourself. I want to focus on the story in which you are telling, because that needs to be consistent with the story in which you want to be heard. And so many of us have not determined what our story is, what our unique equation is. Good morning, Alicia. We are telling ourselves negative things and hoping for positive things to happen. And unfortunately, that's just not how it works. We must begin to tell our story in the way in which we want for it to be received. And so often we do not create or hello, Lisa, give ourselves an opportunity to begin to write that story. We believe that we can negotiate ourselves in and out of situations without being concrete from chapter to chapter. So I need you to think about your story today. Happy Friday to all of you. This is segment number 230, if you can believe it. And in doing so, in creating this morning message, in speaking to all of you, in connecting with all of you each and every day, I am laying the chapters down for my personal story. What does your story look like? What stories do you have to tell about yourself? Because I think that the majority of us are telling false truths about, I'm trying and it's going to get there and one day it'll be better, as opposed to being in a space in which we are telling the story in which we want to be heard. We control the narrative of our lives. We control the story. What story are you telling? Good morning, Candy. Is it a situation where you are laying the groundwork for what people know and understand about who it is that you are? Or are you leaving all of that to assumption? Is the breadcrumbs that you have in this space and the life that you have led and the business that you have created, is it clear? Is your story crystal clear so people can have conversations about you in your absence? Is it easy for somebody to go onto your social media platforms and clearly understand who it is that you are, what it is that you want, and why it is that you deserve it? Are you clear on the story that you are telling the world? And so often we're giving people little bits and pieces and not letting them into the true story of what we want. We are assuming that they have all of the answers and that they know what we want and they know what we're selling or they know what we're promoting or we know what our personal missions are. But those assumptions are leaving us empty, leaving us without transactions, leaving us without relationships, because we have not chosen to write our own story. So I want you guys to think about that. What story are you telling? What story are you telling those in your life that follow, fan, and like you? Or what story are you telling yourself? Because oftentimes the voice that lives in between your ears is the loudest one, and the one that tells you false truths about what it is that you are doing. Even though you have people who follow, fan, and like you, whatever story you are telling yourself in your mind is that you are not exactly where you need to be, that you have fallen short, or you are not in that space. And what happens when that happens, when the false conversations are happening in between your ears, they begin to seep out of your mouth. And next thing you know, you are creating conversations with hesitation. You are creating conversations with, I don't know, maybe. Right? As opposed to living your truth as if the chapters are written, as if everyone knows exactly who you are, what you want, and why you deserve it. You need to tell your story. You need to identify your story. You need to write it down in bullet points and manage it as if you know your social security number. You need to, with no hesitation, share with as many people as possible why you are destined to do what you are doing. Because if you do not believe your story, my friend, no one else will. No one else will allow for you to be in a space where you can do and be and celebrate all that you want. It is hard. It is hard to navigate this space in this world wide web. It is hard for us to know exactly what is authentic and what is not. But what I can tell you to be true is that if you tell your own story, if you allow for your voice to be heard in your own benefit, that creates the momentum. If you wait for people to tell your story or for people to justify who you are, you will be waiting a very long time. And then at that point, you will not be guaranteed that that story will be consistent with what it is that you want. You have lost control because you are no longer the storyteller of your life. You must tell your story. You must write your story. Your story must be your own. You must be the author and the storyteller. Absolutely. You must narrate your own story to as many people as are willing to listen. And you must make sure that that is consistent with what it is that you want. What's your story? And it doesn't need to be a complicated thing, and it doesn't need to be something that you twist and turn and just ends up being this gigantic space. It must be something that you understand clearly and can repeat often. Those people that we follow, fan, and like, right? Those people that we like and follow, and those personal brands that we adore and provide us with inspiration and everything that we need in and around and in between. They tell the same story over and over again. And without hesitation, we dive into it because we call upon them when they need it. We call upon them when we need it. So I think that you need to be able, I know that you need to sit in your space and you need to identify your story. You need to be clear on who you are. You need to understand what it is that you want, and you need to go after why it is that you deserve it. You control your story. Because the last thing I want for all of you is allow for people to be the storytellers of your life and you not be clear on the ending. You not approving the middle. You not approving chapter number 6 through 10 because somebody else is writing it. You need to write your own story. You need to share that story with whoever will listen. You need to find your tribe that will be hanging on every single word, who needs the words on those pages in order for you to be in the position in which you deserve. But if we leave it to other people, if we allow for other people to tell our story, if we allow for other people to be in a space in which they do not really understand or recognize the passion of what it is that you've got going on or the skill set that you bring to the table, you will be doing yourself a disservice. So the story must belong to you and the story must be told by you. A lot of you want to keep who it is that you are, what it is that you want, and why you deserve it a secret, as if there's treasure hunters out there just searching for what makes you relevant, searching for what makes you important, searching for what you have to offer when you must present it. A lot of us want to make it as hard as possible for people to understand who we are, or challenging for people to find the information. But at the same time, raise our hands and say, we want more clients. We want more people in our community. We want to make more money, but we are making it as difficult as possible for people to understand our story, for people to hear our story. Again, in the nature of what it is that we do, I recognize that I'm outnumbered by people who choose to whisper versus scream. But in order to build up that voice, in order to find that tone, to find that volume, you must begin to practice your story. You must begin to think about what it is that you're about to say. You must be able to say, I was here and now I'm here. So many of us want so much that we don't realize how far we have come. And all of those chapters along the way are the stories in which we tell. We control it. We're waiting for people to justify what we are doing. We're waiting for people to give us permission. Well, you're welcome. I'm giving you permission to tell your story. I'm giving you permission to say who you are, what you want, and why you deserve it. I'm giving you permission to draft it, print it, and distribute your story. Because without that, we will leave our stories in the voices, in the mouths of other people. And my friend, that is dangerous. Because maybe they don't understand us the way in which we had intended to be understood. Maybe they are not in our favor. And personal branding, by my definition, is what people say and think about you in your absence. Are you leaving a story behind so that conversation is consistent with what it is that you want? Have you created your story? Have you told your story? How do you know me so I love you, right? I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to leave this to chance, and I'm not going to leave it to a situation where I allow other people to tell me who I am. And believe me, the mistakes of my life have been serious. The valleys have been long. I've spent a little too much time in the valley from time to time. But those mistakes in my life do not define me. Those are not the chapters in my story. They may be one page, but they are not the title of the chapters to my story. One page. That's all you get for the mistakes and mishaps. And those individuals that maybe have misunderstood you, that you've done wrong, the mistakes that you've made in your life, they want to define the full chapter of your life. And I will not have it. You must figure out your own story. You must tell your own story. You cannot live in those bad chapters. You can't turn those pages into chapters, into books. You can't walk around only talking about what you have not done, what you will not do, what you could not do. You have to share who it is that you are. You need to be able to understand what it is that you want. And through every single page, you must justify what it is and why it is that you deserve it. You must control your story. In the pure fear that others will control it for you, for that alone, you must control your own story. Begin to write it down. Bullet points of your life. Refer to that dusty resume that you had from 2002. What are the things in which you were able to accomplish? What are the highlights of your journey? Dive into that and begin to tell your story. And do that over and over and over again until you believe, till the voice in between your ears believes that it is true. And begin telling people that as fact. They won't question it. No. Because life, if we're blessed to, is long. And there is no such thing as a perfect person, a perfect professional, a perfect group. But it's what we share and bring to the table is the most important definition of who we are. So define your story. Determine what makes you great. Determine your strengths and share them. Determine your highlights and share them. Celebrate the goodness that you are and where it is that you are about to go. I'm Sheldon Bartlett-Rumer, and this is it. It is time for you to become your own storyteller. It is time for you to write and distribute your story. We're not waiting for other people to tell you who you are. You know who you are. You know what you want, and you know why you deserve it. Each and every day, Monday through Friday, I come to you at 11 o'clock Eastern in hopes of inspiring you, as well as keeping you motivated each and every day. This Is It Network is your global digital TV network, connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that each and every day through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. If you'd like to be part of our Scream Your Dream community, please find the link within the post and get in touch with me so you can find your voice, so you can tell your story, so you can no longer whisper your wishes, so you can scream your dream. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. This is segment number 230. I will see you on Monday. Take care.